Hello guys, welcome back. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about something which a lot of men, and not just men, a lot of women as well, go through this quietly, and it's a struggle. And what this is it's staying in the wrong relationship because they are scared to be alone. Now, I had a conversation with a friend recently who was going through exactly this. And the more we spoke, the more I realized how common this mindset can be, especially with guys and women as well. I know women who have experienced a similar thing. So let me talk you through this story about my friend. And we're also going to cover some lessons that I think we can take from this as well. So my mate has been in South America for a few months, and he went down to Argentina because he knew a girl there. He's been dating this girl for a few months. Good looking girl. It was all fun at first. Everything seemed smooth. But then, after kind of moving into together, seeing each other every day, some red flags started to appear. Some problems which he didn't see at first, but were red flags, especially considering how new the relationship was. They'd only really known each other for like less than 6 months. And he told me straight. He was like, bro, I don't know if she's right for me, but I'm scared to be alone. And that right there, that I'm scared to be alone, is a big reason why a lot of people stay stuck in relationships that they're not really happy in. And that is what stops a lot of people from reaching their potential and ending up in a relationship where they're actually fulfilled and happy in. And even when he even said, what if I never find a girl like this again? Even after he told me all the things he didn't like about her, he said, what if I don't find another girl? My friend is 28 years old, handsome guy, earns fairly decent money. And he has this belief of like, what if I never find a girl like this again? I'm scared to be alone. And he's acting like he's at the end of his life, like he has no options. And this mindset does trap a lot of people. They think that this is the best I'm ever going to get, even when they're unhappy. And it boils down to, it's a confidence issue. It's a self-worth issue. Because if you truly felt abundant, if you truly felt like you had options and you were able to go and meet other women easily, then you wouldn't stay in a situation where you're not happy in. But many men stay in relationships, not because they're in love, but because they're scared of starting again, of being lonely, scared that no one else will want them. They're scared that walking away means, oh, I failed, I wasted time. So they settle and they accept behaviors that they otherwise shouldn't accept. They accept behaviors that don't align with their values, and they tell themselves that, but she loves me, she does this for me, she does that for me, so she's good enough. But sometimes that's not enough. Compatibility, peace, and sharing the same values are really what makes a relationship strong and work in the long term. And as well, what keeps a lot of guys in relationships is lust. It's they're having their needs met to some degree. So if it's only physical, if the connection's only physical and you're only staying in the relationship because she's meeting your physical needs or she's attractive, then you're setting yourself up for a world of pain and years of frustration later down the road, because looks fade, but character does not. So you should always pick someone based on their character. Of course, looks are important, but the character is more important. So I asked my mate a very simple question. I said, do you see a future with her? And he hesitated. He couldn't tell me straight. And that told me everything. That told me everything I need to know. And he still asked me, do you think I'm making the right decision not being with her? Or not? Am I being ungrateful? He said to himself, do you think I'm the problem? That told me everything, because if she's nagging you only 3 months in, if she drains you emotionally now and all these questions are being raised, then what is she going to be like a year from now? What is she going to be like once you have children together? When life gets harder, because life will ultimately throw curveballs in your way. And the red flags never disappear. The early signs never disappear. They only amplify. And as soon as you put a ring on her finger, as soon as she locks you down, those problems are going to amplify. And a lot of men do this. They choose beauty over behavior, and they massively pay for it in the long run. And it all comes from a lack of self-worth and a scarcity mindset. So after we spoke, so this went on for a couple of weeks, asking me, what should I do about this? And I told him, I gave him advice. I said, look, I think you should move on. I think you should tell her. I think you should pack your bags. I think you should move out from what you've told me. I think you'll really appreciate it in the long run. So eventually, he really struggled to end it. He really struggled to tell her, but eventually he plucked up the courage to do it. He decided to stop second guessing himself. What if I was the problem? What if I never find someone else? What if she's the best that I can get? Maybe she isn't that bad. This feels lonely. Maybe I should go back. All these questions, they're going to arise. And when we leave someone, sometimes we only think of the things that we love about them. We focus on the highlights because you're with them for a reason. Initially, there were good things about them. And then what happens is when we break up with them, we only focus on those good things, not the reason why we left. But this really wasn't about the girl. This was about him. This was about his own self-worth, his own trauma from childhood, which he was carrying into this relationship. The abandonment wounds from his father leaving early. Toxic relationship with his father. Deep fear of being alone. And an even deeper fear of not being good enough and a lack of self-worth. And the problem is, if he doesn't fix that, he will carry this issue into the next relationship with the next girl and the next girl, because relationships are often a mirror. You attract the person who is a mirror to you. A lot of relationships, they really expose your deepest traumas because there is polarity. There is polarity in relationships, and the kind of person we attract is the kind of person who we are. We attract people on the same kind of level as us. So if we have those fears of abandonment and lack of self-worth, that is going to be revealed in the relationship. Our partner really is going to reveal those. So I told him, you're not afraid of losing her. You're afraid of facing yourself. If you fear being alone, you will always settle. You have to be okay with being alone. Focus on your work, focus on the gym, focus on spending time with your friends, having fun, making yourself happy. Don't ignore red flags when you date a woman. You will always choose this safety, it's an illusion of safety, but you'll always choose that over true compatibility. You have to become someone who is able to be alone and be happy in their own skin without needing someone else, because this feeling of need is actually repulsive to women. You need someone who is healthy of a level of self-respect, someone who is capable, who knows they're capable of finding love again, someone who has a high level of self-esteem. There are billions of people on this planet. I think it's like 8 billion of people on this planet. People with all sorts of issues find love. People with trauma find love. People in worse situations find love. I know dating is hard in 2025, currently it is now, but people make it work. People find the right person for them, but the key is to not compromise on your values and to be okay with being alone, creating a life that someone else would want to be a part of. The question is, will I be the kind of person who attracts the right person? You have to understand that in order to attract your dream person into your life, you have to become someone else's dream person. They're not going to want to be with you if you're insecure and you have self-doubt and you have all this trauma. You have to resolve that first in order to attract your dream person. So, one thing he did do right was reach out. He reached out to me. A lot of men suffer in silence. They don't talk. They don't ask for help. They just bottle it up and they suffer alone, or they act impulsively. So you need at least one good friend or one person, an acquaintance, or even a stranger. Someone who you can reach out to in your life and tell the truth, not just what you want to hear. Because a lot of times, if you ask a friend, they'll tell you what you want to hear because they don't want to hurt your feelings. Sometimes it's best to ask a stranger, or even ask a family member, someone who knows you really well. Someone who isn't blinded by the emotion that you're caught up in. So not a friend of your partner, because they're always going to be biased. We all have blind spots. You need someone who can really be honest with you and tell things how it is. When you're in it, you don't often see things clearly. You justify, you rationalize, you romanticize, and then you minimize the problem. So that's why getting an internal perspective matters so much. So my mate walked away, and I believe it was the right choice for him. It wasn't the easy choice. It was really hard for him to walk away because I don't know if he loved the girl, but he cared about the girl. And he probably still does. And there's probably still a part of him that misses her. But he made the right choice because they weren't aligned. And it's best for her and him if they go separate ways. And time will tell. Time will tell if you made the right decision. But whatever happens, the most important thing is the decision that you make today and that you make right, you stick with. Don't let fear and self-doubt make your choices for you. Part of being a man is about having conviction, making a decision and standing on it. Knowing your worth and trusting yourself enough to walk away from a situation which you know isn't right for you. So if you're going through something similar, you're not alone. Relationships can be complicated, and sometimes we need to step back to see things clearly. So if this video helped you, drop a comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.